Yo, what is good YouTube, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video I'm going to be going over my personal equipment guide sheet, basically going over what I did from the start of the game to how I got to end game with, you know, 11 billion, a lot of luck, a lot of storage and everything like that, the shake speeds, everything. This is exactly how I got to the point that I am at right now. But like I said, we are trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and for all I know we may have already hit 10k by the time I posted this video, because these are going to be a couple of videos that I'm going to have to pre-record because I'm actually going away for a week. So if we did hit that 10k subscribers, I am so grateful. The giveaways and everything are going to be rolling out as soon as I am back. But enough of my yapping, let's get straight into this video. So you guys have clicked on this video to know the full equipment kind of guide. This is basically what I did. Obviously you can go different routes with this game. Like, some people like to go for full luck, some people like to go for full shake speed, some people like to go for full load carry. There's a lot of different ways you can go, but this is my personal one. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you obviously join into the game is, obviously there's going to be, you know, you got to do all your quests and stuff like that. He's going to make you want to craft a golden ring. To be honest, the kind of starter ones, you kind of just want to try and get one of each. So you kind of want to get a gold ring, you want to get an amethyst pendant, and you want to get a garden glove. And then, to be honest, you kind of just don't really want to go for anything at the start, to be honest. Like I said, just try and get a pendant, try and get a glove, and then try and get some rings here and there, because like I said, they don't really give you much at the start. As you guys can see, the gold ring gives 0.2 to 0.7. The amethyst amulet is actually very good at the start because it gives you that sal boost. The garden glove is kind of just giving you dig strength and a little bit more capacity. But then if we do go ahead and move on into the next area, so like I said, basically at the start of the game, just kind of play through the game, you know, get a feel of the game, kind of understand, you know, kind of what's happening with the game, and then we're going to obviously get into the actual good stuff. So then we're going to go over to Fortune River, which is like the second area you kind of go to. And if we go ahead and check on into the crafting, as you guys can see, there is obviously all these green ones here, which these are also kind of mid as well. I mean, you can obviously go for them because, you know, there can be easier ones to get than others. Like the smoky quartz, you aren't really going to be able to get it straight away because you need to get into the cave for, and you need level 15 for that. This one, the pearls are kind of easy to get. The jade is a little bit harder to get at the start of the game, and then titanium and topaz is going to be a decently hard for you to get at the start of the game as well. But you are obviously going to want to focus on obviously your armbands and then your necklaces as well. But the main thing we want to be focusing on is our rings. So as you guys see, there's the ruby rings here, there is the meteor rings, because meteor rings are actually going to be pretty easy for you to go ahead and get your hands on. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come on over here, and you're just going to want to dig it down here, and you should be getting meteoric iron. Meteoric iron is actually pretty easy to go ahead and obtain, and I would suggest that if you guys want to get a couple rings, go for the meteor rings. This is basically what I did. I went for a full set of the meteor rings as fast as I possibly could, because the next one you're going to be wanting to go for is going to be either the moon rings or the heart of the oceans. And this is where it comes down to, what type of things do you want? Do you want to be able to get more items within an hour, or do you want to be able to get rarer items within the hour but make a little bit less more money, or do you want to go specifically just for money? This is where you kind of get to decide that for yourself. So if we jump on into the crafting, the two rings we're going to be talking about right now is we're going to be talking about the moon ring, and we're going to be talking about the heart of the ocean ring. When it comes to the heart of the ocean ring, it's going to give you a bit of luck, so up to 10 times. It's going to give you shake speed, and it's going to give you a sal bonus. So this is basically the money making version. Whereas if we jump on over to the moon ring, it's going to give you a bit more luck, it's going to give you dig speed, it's going to give you shake speed, but there's not going to have that sal bonus. And at the start of the game, you are going to want that sal bonus because you want to try and get the best pants as fast as you possibly can. You guys want that sal bonus, and you're not really going to be focusing too much on luck, because if you focus too much on luck, you may get really good items. But say if you're running a full thing of heart of the oceans and you're getting them all at either 10%, which is the lowest you can get, if you run 5 of them, you're getting 50% more money compared to if you're running the moon ring. You're getting better items, and you're getting a lot more items, but you're also missing out on basically 2 times your money in the same amount of time, which I don't think is very worth it. I did the silly thing, and I went for moon rings, and I'm gonna be honest, I then switched to the heart of the oceans, and it became a lot easier. The way we're gonna go ahead and get these heart of the oceans is if we go ahead and run on over. They now do have the teleports. Before they didn't have these. We've gone over to Fortune River Delta. It spawns us right next to it. So when we're at Fortune River Delta, we're gonna look over the way over here by where the lighthouse is, and there is going to be a beach. What you want to do is basically just dig in the beach, or prospect in the beach, kind of just pan a lot in the beach, because once you do go ahead and dig over here, you're going to see Sunset Beach right here. Sunset Beach is actually very easy to go ahead and get the items that you do indeed need to be able to go ahead and make these heart of the ocean. So let's just go ahead and sell my inventory. Obviously I do have a lot more luck than you would have at the time, but to be honest, the items you need to get from here aren't too special. It's not like you need any legendaries or anything like that. that the golden pearl that you do need from here, which is right here, these golden pearls are literally only an epic rarity. And to be fair, getting epic rarities shouldn't be too much of a task at the start of the game, because I'm not gonna lie, legendaries are pretty hard at the start of the game, but epics, you seem to get them decently easy. And like I said, the more rings that you do have, the easier the next ones will be able to go ahead and get. The other thing I would indeed suggest is, obviously you guys can see the opal amulet here. You guys can also see the gravity coil. I would suggest completely skipping the gravity coil. Please do not go for it, because all it does is add you some capacity. I would also suggest completely skipping the opal amulet, because I'm not gonna lie, it's going from 2 to 13 luck, which, yes, say if the best amulet you have right now is the amethyst one, it is gonna give you a lot more, but obviously the amethyst also does have the sal bonus. But what I would try and go for is see if you guys can go for any of the other ones. So personally, I did obviously go for the opal amulet as well myself, just because the other ones that you can go for are actually very hard to get. Like the mass accumulator isn't really worth it, but it's also decently hard to go ahead and get your hands on. The phoenix heart is the one I'm using right now, but you do need a influm. I can't say any of the names of these things, but you need one of those, and you also need 2 star shrines, which is insanely hard to get. Celestial rings, you also need some super hard things to get as well, and then that is basically the best ones you can get in the game. So I would suggest trying to go straight from the opal to one of these down here. And if you guys do not know how crafting works, which I probably should have said this before, it's all based off weight. So say if I were to craft a golden ring, say if I were to have 5 bits of gold all at 0.1 kg, it is going to come out at a quality of 1. But whereas if I put 5 golds in there that all have a 5 kg plus each, it's going to come out as a 5-star. And then as a 5-star, you have a higher chance of getting better percentages when you come into Reforge, or you have a higher chance of just getting a really good item off of Reforge. Anyway, as you guys can see here, I have 2 moon rings, both at 5 stars. I actually have 3 moon rings at 5 stars, whereas my heart of the oceans are only 1 stars. I also went ahead and got a mythic one, but I only got 3 stars because the items I got from it were very hard. But then what I went ahead and did is I spent a lot of money, because it is very hard. I spent a lot of money to try and get it to a 75. The reason these percentages are down here, this is of its max ability. So as you guys see on my royal crown, I have 83% of its 100% max ability. 83% is very good. I would suggest keeping anything over around 65% or 70%. It depends on how much money you have, because like I say, if I go and take off this crown right now, and we actually take it off, and we have to go ahead and put it in our hand. So if I go ahead into my backpack and we search up the royal crown, if I go ahead and try and reforge this, like if I say can you reforge this, it's gonna cost me a lot of money. I believe that is 138 million. Yeah, that is correct. That's 138 million. Obviously at the start it's not as expensive, because obviously, you know, it's your first time reforging it. But as you guys can see, I've had to do 3 reforges on this one. I've done no reforges on my phoenix heart because I got a really good one straight away. I got 71%. This one here, I've done 5 reforges. Yes, 5. This cost me a lot of money to go ahead and try and get some good stats on there. So obviously the higher quality you get, the better it is gonna be. And then once you have a full thing of either the moon rings or the heart of the ocean, whichever ones you decide, I would suggest going for the crown, because this is going to be another really good one. It's kind of easy to get. The diamonds are easy to get, and then everything else comes with it. Diamond is a very easy legendary to get. If you guys don't know where all these items are, they do have a wiki, which I'm going to try and link down below. It is on fandom, so it is, I believe, fan made. I don't know if it's their official wiki, but it does tell you where to go ahead and get every item. Then once you got the crown, you're going to want to try and obviously go for the other good things in the game. So the good rings at the moment is obviously the prismatic style, which they have just recently added. You need aluminum, you need pink diamonds, you need normal diamonds, you need a prismera, which by the way, the prismera is super duper hard to get. And then you also need a star shine as well. Everything's kind of easy to get here except for the prismera. The prismera is very hard to get. They went and added the new one, which is the solar ring, which is even harder to get as well. Obviously you need the volcanic core, you need the, I cannot say any of these names, but you need all 3 of these, and then you're able to go ahead and get these solar rings. A lot of people do go for the apocalypse rings just because it does give dig strength, it gives shake strength, it gives a decent amount of luck, and it also gives sal boost. Personally, I'm going to be going for the apocalyptic rings because I feel like they are a lot better than the other rings that you can go ahead and get. And then when it comes to obviously after getting the crown, what I went for is I went for the Royal Federation crown, just because it was pretty easy to go ahead and get the items. As you guys can see, I could go ahead and craft 4 more of these because rose gold's very easy to go ahead and get. It's a legendary. Pink diamond is a mythical, so obviously you're crafting a mythical item, you're going to need a mythical. And then the golden and pearls are also really easy to get. As you guys went and saw, I went ahead and got 3 of them straight away, so they're also very, very easy to go ahead and get as well. And then you have the fossilized crown, which came in the most recent update, which you need a dinosaur skull for. The way you go ahead and get the dinosaur skull, if you guys were paying attention earlier, there was a volcanic eruption every 15 minutes past the hour, and a volcanic eruption opens up the heart of the phoenix, or something like that. It's called like the heart of the phoenix or the heart of the volcano or something, and then in there you have a chance to go ahead and pull up the dinosaur skull. It is a new rarity of item, so if we go on into the collection and we go into the infernal heart, as you guys see, it is a exotic rarity, which is even harder to get than the mythicals currently in the game, so that is going to be a very, very hard one for you to go ahead and get. But if you do get it, as you guys see, the rewards do come with it. You can get 200 luck, 200 capacity, 30% shake speed, 50% size boost, plus 100% sal boost. So what I would suggest, guys, just as a little quick overview, I would suggest go through the tutorial, get like just the basic simple ones, then go for your meteor rings. Once you got your meteor rings, go for your moon or your heart of the ocean rings. Once you've then ahead and got them, you do not need to go ahead and get these light keeper rings. Just go straight for the apocalyptic rings, the prismatic rings, or the solar rings. I personally say the apocalyptic rings because they are a lot easier to go ahead and get. And then when it comes to headgear, I was just obviously, you know, going garden gloves, jade armband. I would say skip the lapis, skip the speed coil, skip the gravity coil, skip the dragon claw, because I don't think it's very good. Yeah, just skip the dragon claw unless you are really wanting to obviously get that dig strength. I would say go straight to the crown. Once you've got the crown, go for the Royal Federation crown, and then the Phoenix wings are also very, very good because they give you a lot of luck. But personally, I would just say the sal boost could be a lot better unless you don't need money. Then I would say go straight for the Royal Federation to try and get that fossilized crown on your hands. The next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the necklaces. So I would say pearl necklace, and then obviously amethyst pendant. You know, like I said, the basic ones, kind of just skip them. From that one, go straight to the opal necklace, and then from there try and get the Phoenix heart, the celestial rings, or anything like that. I personally went for the Phoenix heart. I found it a little bit easier, and it also does give you that 300% luck. And then also you could go for the celestial rings because it kind of is a more balanced one. But personally, I would say that you guys go for the Phoenix heart. Like I said, if you guys did find this video helpful, let me know down in the comments what other things you want to know about prospecting, because I'm going to try and make a lot more videos on prospecting going into the future, because I do actually genuinely enjoy this game and I like posting videos on games that I do enjoy. But like I said, I might have already hit 10,000 subscribers because right now this is past me. You're currently talking to our past says. But if we haven't hit 10,000 subscribers, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and ciao.